Hey everyone, welcome back to new series of Python. So in today's video, we will discuss about the nested function. So nested function is nothing but when a function is defined inside another function, then such functions are known as nested function. Or simply we can say that a function within another function is also called as a nested function. Now let's go with an example for the nested function. So in this case, we will have a main function. Inside that function, we will have multiple functions. So I'm going to give the name of the function as outer function. So we know in order to define a function, we have to use the keyword def over here. Later on, we just need to provide the name of the function. So the name of the function is outer function, and I'll be using outer function over here as the name of my function. And we know once a function is defined, the next step is that we have to provide the statement, right? Either you can provide the print statement over here, or you can provide the next function. So right now I'll be using the print function, and you can see that I'm gonna give the statement as hello Cybrosys, and later on I'll be defining the another function inside this main function. So that is the inner function. So you can provide the name of the function as inner function. That is the name I'm gonna give, or you can just give the name accordingly. Upon your choice. And here now we just need to close this function. So if you're not closing this function, you will get an error message over here. Still, you can find an error over here. This is because we haven't provided any statements for this inner function. Now I'll be using the print statement in order to provide, in order to get the statement in my log. So here I'm gonna give it as, are you ready to learn Python? And we have just given the statement over here. Still, you can see that the outer function is just highlighted over here, but the inner function is not highlighted. Why is it so? This is because we haven't called the function, or we haven't completed the statement and moved into the other line, okay? So as we just move on to the other line, you can see currently the inner function is just highlighted over here. Now, let me just call the function, okay? I just want to call the function. So in this case, what we have to keep in mind that we have to provide the proper indentation. So as we provide one more function, this comes over here. So if you want to define one more function over here, see, it will go in a ladder way, okay? So I only use here two functions, that is outer function and inner function. But if you wish to give another function inside this inner function, it will follow a ladder structure, okay? So while calling the function, you also just need to keep in mind that you are using the proper indentation, okay? So if I just want to call the outer function, I'll be calling the outer function by providing the function name. So in this case, what happens is that when we just call for the outer function, it would, just go to this section. And what happens is that it will print the statement, that is hello Cybrosys. Now, let me run the file, and here you can see we have just got the result. Now, will it be possible to call the inner function after the outer function? It won't be possible, okay? So I'm going to call the inner function after the outer function. So here you can see I'm going to give it as inner. You can provide the name of the function. So the name of the function is inner func, right? So I'm going to call that inner function as the name of the function that we have provided. So as we just provide the inner function over here, Python will suggest that we have made some slight mistake over here. See, you can see it is entlined with a red color. From this, we can say that we have just got an unsolved reference over here. See, we can say that the outer function is a global scope or global variable, and the inner function is a local scope. So if we are just providing the local scope outside the global scope, it will always raises an error, okay? So as you just try to run this file, here you can see the name inner function is not defined, it do mean outer function. Okay? And what we have to do is, we have to remove this from here and let's call it after the inner function itself. Okay. Now, let me just run the file. So, as I just ran the file, still we can see that we haven't got the result over here. This is because we have just called this inner function or provided the call the inner function just after the statement. That's why we are not getting that result. So, we have to provide the proper closing for this function. Or you can see, now when you just run this file, here you can see that we have just got the result, that is, are you ready to learn Python? Okay, now let's go with an example. So I'll be creating a nested function with an example over here. So let's say that the name of the outer function is f1, and we know to close the function, we obviously need to provide the colon over here. And without providing the statement, that is without providing any print statement also, you can just write this function, next function. So instead of writing the print statement, I'll be providing some other statement. Let's say company. Okay, so company is equal to Cybrosys, or you can say that we can just provide a greeting as a variable name. So I'll be using a variable name over here as greeting. So let's say hi Cybrosys. And now let me define the other function. So to define the other function, again, we have to use the keyword def, and I'm going to provide the name of the second function as f2. And now you can just use a print statement. Okay, so I just want to get the result over here. So we know hi Cybrosys is just stored in the variable greeting. So I just need to get the result over here. So I'll be using that variable name over here. Later on, let's call for the function. So I'm going to call for the function f1. And let's see, to call the function f1, we know the outer function is defined over here. So you have to properly align the calling of the function. So we can just call for the function f1. So will we get the result if we just call only for f1? No. This is because we haven't provided any print statements for f1. So we won't get the result. We have just provided a statement over here that is a variable that has the value hi Cybrosys. But we are providing the statement that is a print statement under the f2 function, right? So we just need to keep in mind that we obviously need to call for the second function. That is the nested function. Now, when you just run this file, here you can see we have just got the result, that is hi Cybrosys. Okay, so this is how we just define with function inside a function, or we can say that it's a function within a function. Basically, it's concluded as a nested function. So I hope this video clarifies how to use a nested function in Python. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.